batov u'bana'im shemetachim nam yachad. Hinei batov u'bana'im shemetachim gam yachad. Hinei batov u'bana'im shemetachim gam yachad. Hinei batov u'bana'im shemetachim gam yachad. How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hinei batov u'bana'im shemetachim gam yachad. Hinei batov u'bana'im shemetachim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
It is wonderfully sweet to be together on this Shabbat, to have an opportunity to take a moment in time to let the outside world be the outside world, and to allow ourselves to give ourselves a gift of Shabbat, to allow ourselves to have time to reflect and refresh and renew our souls. If you want to reflect, you can do that too. Apparently, I need to do some reflecting. So. But we get to be here in this space, and it is a beautiful thing because there are many people who are coming to us this evening, of course, in celebration of our Pride Shabbat. And we are grateful and thrilled that we are here celebrating Pride, a value of our congregation that has been enmeshed in this congregation for a long time. And some people are here because they have just made it from overseas, and apparently right after getting off the plane, I guess coming to Temple Bethel is exactly what you want to do. We're thrilled to have you back from South Africa. It's fantastic. And some people are here because it is your first time in a Jewish synagogue in which you are celebrating Shabbat together with a group of interfaith partners and learners with our Mecklenburg Ministries Youth Summit, right? So raise your hand if you're part of Meckman's Youth Summit, right here in the back. Thank you. We're glad to have you here. Representing the many faiths that exist in Charlotte and the youth of our community who have been doing incredible learning about all different types of faith communities and are going to be celebrating Shabbat with us and learning with Rabbi Erdheim and myself also after the service. So for whatever reason you're here, there are other new people who are here who've never been to Temple Bethel before. It's okay, you can raise your hand. Hello, so glad to have you here. Where are you all from? From Tampa, Florida. Welcome to the Holy Land. Glad to have you here. We have such great friends in Tampa, and it is in some cases, in some places, a little less warm sometimes. Very, very rarely. And anyone else who's new here? Yeah, you're new. And where are you from? You're from Houston? You just moved from Houston, Texas. You're part of the Texodus. Leaving Texas. I too lived in Dallas for a long time, so I was part of that. But welcome to Charlotte. Glad to have you here. All right. Well, we have a lot of people who are watching this evening at home and around, sometimes in hospital rooms or at home or around the globe. Perhaps my mom. I want to invite you to say Shabbat Shalom and to turn to the cameras that are behind us or wave and say Shabbat Shalom to those who are at home. And of course, waving to Emily Zimmern as she comes in. And then also to turn to the north, the south, the east, and the west, and to say Shabbat Shalom to one another. Please come say Shabbat Shalom to one another and welcome one another here. Hi, guys. Nope, that is not it. Hey, guys. So tomorrow, Shakar Peterson is coming and it's going to become bar mitzvah, and he is wearing his talit, and we are very excited that you're going to be leading us in our services tomorrow. And then Zach, the following week, is going to be leading services and getting us ready, and you look totally prepared also, and you can see that. And so we are thrilled to have you two here with your families, bringing your families to Temple Bethel to help us not only light the Shabbat candles, but also sanctify Shabbat with the blessing of wine.
I can do it first.
Right. It's on. Press the button.
Just press the button. High tech.
I know, right?
Okay. Thank you. It was hard.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And we continue with the words of Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'bratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziyat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta be'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'ratzon Hinachaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Amen. L'chaim. Zach, Mazel Tov in advance. We are so excited for you to lead us in services in a couple weeks. And Shachar, we know that you are ready for tomorrow, and we are so excited to celebrate with you on Shabbat tomorrow morning. So, Mazel Tov, everyone. Thank you. As we just got to celebrate the opportunity for two bar mitzvah boys in our congregation to lead us in services, I'm going to call a former bar mitzvah boy in our congregation forward for a special blessing, and it is my pleasure to invite forward Ron Liss, past president of our congregation, to come forward. And I ask the congregation to please rise. Ron Liss, as we gather here to celebrate on the remarkable occasion of your 95th birthday on August 28th, and we extend to you a heartfelt and uplifting blessing from the whole congregation, because we reflect on the chapters of your life and infuse them with even more beauty and meaning, because the chapters of your life include the legacy, the reverence that you have for our community, and the gratitude that you have as a human being for your life. 95 years marks an incredible span, a tapestry woven with the threads of experiences and challenges and cherished moments. And Ron, your family is a testament to the love and life that you have shared with Francis, and it stands as a living tribute to your devotion and guidance. With 9 children and 39 grandchildren and great-grandchildren, your life's journey has been interwoven. I know they all were thinking, that's a lot of birthday celebrations. That's a lot of Hanukkah presents. And even today, I received phone calls this morning, and this is true, from members of your family from South Carolina and other places expressing how much they love you. Through the ups and the downs that you have faced, through life's trials and unwavering strength and resilience, for all of that, we all offer our deepest sense of admiration. In reflecting on your life's journey, you find immense pride in your family, a testament to the strength and unity that you have nurtured. You understand that life is not always easy, and it's a collection of challenges that we're able to overcome. And in your wisdom, you have solved those challenges admirably, leaving a trail of inspiration for generations to come. And I want to speak a moment about some of that inspiration, because some of it comes from the 25-year marriage that you've had with Francis, a union founded on love and respect and of shared dreams and passions. And some of that comes from the leadership that you had as the president of our congregation from 1971 to 1973, a little before I was alive. Of your initiation of the first temple-wide youth program, right? Youth programs at Temple Bethel are because of Ron Liss. Of the milestones and service that you have as our president of our congregation during challenging times, exemplified by the strength of your vision and your resilience and your steering Temple through uncharted waters, emerging stronger and even more vibrant. Your legacy, Ron, is etched in every corner of this temple, of every corner of the youth of our temple, a living testament to your service. As we bestow this blessing upon you on the occasion of your 95th birthday, we pray that your years ahead continue to be graced with abundance and blessing that you have shared with our world. May your health remain steadfast. May each day be filled with warmth and firmly with the memories of joy and satisfaction of a life well lived. Your presence is always a gift. Your recommendations and advice to me, always a gift. A living connection to the rich history and source of inspiration that inspire us now and for generations to come. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Ken yehi ratzon. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, may God's radiance shine upon you and be gracious to you. Ken yehi ratzon. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, and may God journey with you each and every day of your life, ad mea v'esrim, until 120 years and beyond. And may God bless you with the most important blessing of all, the blessing of shalom, of peace, and shlemut, of wholeness. Ken yehi ratzon. May this be God's will. And we all say, Amen. You may be seated. Thank you. So many blessings. So many blessings that we have in our community and our congregation, and I wanted to take a moment to also elevate and lift other blessings that we might have, from bar mitzvah boys to a wonderful birthday celebration. I know that we had a birthday celebration in our family this week, Ron. Our Jonas turned 8 years old, and it was a big celebration. 8 years old, not quite like 95, but wonderful nonetheless. And I was just wondering, other wonderful things that may have happened in your life, big or small, that you would like to share. Yeah, Joel. 59th wedding anniversary on Wednesday. Right here. You agree, it is your, okay, absolutely. Mazel tov, 59 years, that is amazing, yes. Whoa, this past Wednesday too? Wow. Amazing. That's amazing. Mazel tov. Yeah. To college. That's awesome. That's really exciting. Mazel tov. Others, yes, please. Fred. 43 years. 44, excuse me. Just mazel tov on your anniversary. That's beautiful. Yes. You started school. What grade? 7th grade. Awesome. May it be a year filled with exploration and curiosity and fun. That sounds awesome. Wonderful. Mazel tov. Yes. So 2 great-grandchildren to college, to the University of Oklahoma and to Chapel Hill. Great-grandchildren sending off to college. That's incredible, Francis. So that's awesome. Mazel tov. Yeah. Mazel tov on your 18th anniversary and for being here, Maggie. That's beautiful. Yes. Congratulations for a professional success on a project well done. That's great. That's awesome. Anything else? Yes. A fun visit with your grandchildren last week? That's awesome. Did you get the snuggles in? Good. That's great. Yeah. Rose, congratulations on your new job that you just started. Mazel tov to you. That's great. Sorry. Oh, please. That's fantastic. For a summer to grow your life on. Mazel tov. Yes. That's great. For a girls' weekend and kicking off a Pride Shabbat. That's great. Well, for all wonderful things, for opportunities to celebrate many competing anniversaries. Apparently this week was very, very popular to get married 44 or 59 years ago. And for opportunities to celebrate with family and to have a girls' weekend or to go off to college or to do wonderful things in life or to start the 7th grade, which is a huge thing, or to get a new job. For all of these things, we elevate joy and we say, thank God, not only for giving us life, but for sustaining our lives to help us reach joyous occasions.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
It's my pleasure to invite forward Becky Stamler and Lisa McDonald to come forward to speak.
Up we go. No surprise. So there I was in Myrtle Beach in February of 1999, where I met the woman of my dreams, Exhibit A. Our first date was in May of 1999, and there was music. And in December of 1999, we started to live together and try that out. You see, it was against the law for people like us who are gay or lesbian to get married. Never dreamed it would happen in my lifetime. We decided that as domestic partners, that's the language we used, we could have a commitment ceremony, which sounds interesting, because that's what we could do in front of our families and loved ones. It was important to me to show my parents our commitment to each other. So on May 8, 2004, in a lovely park in Charlotte, we were committed to each other, unlegally. Around 5 or so years later, a rabbi here, Rabbi Schindler, gathered several of us gay and lesbian couples together to see if there was any interest in anybody wanting to go to a state or area where same-sex marriage was legal. And probably the closest place was Washington, D.C. There might have been 7 other states at the time where gay and lesbian people could get married legally with a marriage license and all the things that come with it. And there's a lot. You don't know until you've missed out on it. Anyway, we decided that it would be Washington, D.C. because it was the closest place. There were about 7 couples from 3 houses of worship on a bus and various cars that went up. 4 of the couples were here from Temple Bethel. And the support from the Temple Bethel community was incredible. I mean, there were people who made arrangements for our transportation and lodging. There was somebody who made sure that we got marriage licenses in D.C. and that the clergy got the licenses to perform marriages in D.C. I didn't even know they had to do that. There were visits to the National Holocaust Museum, the Human Rights Campaign office, and the Universalist Unitarian Church in D.C., which 2 of our couples were from here. And little did we know that the Sunday school made cards for us all at the Unitarian Universalist Church. And Exhibit B, I know you can't all see it, but I can show you later. It's all bedazzled with sparkly things and flower petals and hearts and pearly things. And it says, congrats on the outside, and on the inside, it says, Lisa and Becky, I hope everything works out.
I wish you didn't have to be so brave to be in love. Sincerely, Stephanie Williams and Lori Barnard and Clark.
Can't read. Must be a doctor. Can't read that handwriting. So that was incredibly touching to all of us to receive, all of the couples to receive cards from the Sunday school at the Universalist Unitarian Church. There were WFAE reporters on our bus. And so the arrangements were also made by people from our congregation for the 7-couple legal wedding ceremony to take place at the Washington Club in DuPont Circle, which is very lovely. And it sounded a lot better than what they were thinking beforehand, which was in a meadow or a park somewhere in D.C. So we took that very nicely. Someone from this congregation got the Charlotte Observer and McClatchy to change its policy, because when we made our wedding announcement, it was just under celebrations, which could be anything. But later on, didn't they republish it?
No, so they first turned us down and said, no, we don't allow same-sex couples to be under weddings in the paper. And we communicated that to people here at Bethel about how frustrating that was. And so somebody from Bethel called the publisher of the newspaper, and the publisher of the newspaper talked to McClatchy, and they changed their policy. And then we got the 3 couples of the 7 who were willing to be public, because some of the couples were concerned they might lose their jobs or their housing because they were gay. They weren't able to be public. But we got our picture in the paper, and we changed the McClatchy policy for all of North Carolina in 2011.
Thank you, Maura. There were celebrations for us when we came back here at the temple and at one of the other churches where a couple was from. And at that day after we got back, there were cameras from every news channel, including like the News 14 that goes all the way across the state, interviewing those of us who were willing to be on camera and willing to talk about our experience of going and getting married and coming back here in North Carolina where it's not even going to be recognized. So that was a pretty cool experience altogether. There were a lot of wonderful celebrations and heartfelt support and love from a lot of couples and groups and individuals and members and non-members who like to come. It was just a really wonderful community experience. We could be open about our marriage. And we even got a wedding blessing here at Temple Bethel.
10 years later.
Yeah. So not only have Lisa's life and my life been enriched by Temple Bethel, but our relationship and marriage has been nourished by this community. It took a village, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
We continue with the words of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, yalalai, 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 nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, yalalai, 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 nei Shabbat mekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'tibor echad, ishmiyanu elav yuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'tila. Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, yalalai, 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 nei Shabbat mekabela.
Kala Yaladai 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 Bnei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Yaladai 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 Bnei Shabbat Nekabela Boi v'shalom Ateret ala Gam besimcha u'b'tzora Toch emunei Am segula Boi chala Boi chala Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Yaladai 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 Bnei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Yaladai 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 Bnei Shabbat Nekabela Yalalai, lai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Yalalai, lai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. And thou shalt love Adonai thy God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children. And you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you rise up, and when you lie down. It's my honor to invite forward Chris Ecker to come forward to speak.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Chris Ecker. My husband and I have 2 children. Our older child, Ross, is transgender, non-binary. Ross uses they, them pronouns. In the years since Ross came out to us, my husband Bob and I have learned so much beyond what seems now to have been our small world. For instance, we quickly learned that the singular they has been grammatically correct for centuries, as evident in the works of William Shakespeare. I am a writer, and Ross and I are both grammarians. You can be sure that that has been confirmed. Bob and I have had our eyes open to those who are desperate to be on the outside, the person who they firmly know that they are on the inside. We've heard the heartbreaking stories about Ross's friends who, as teens, were turned out by their parents. We've met those who were disowned because they didn't fulfill their parents' expectations for them. We know of children who can't come out to their parents for fear of rejection, so they keep up the appearance of the gender that is truly foreign to everything that they feel inside. Here are a few things that we as parents clearly understand. First, we do not for a minute believe that this is a lifestyle choice for Ross. Why would anyone subject themselves to discrimination in everyday life? Second, people like Ross just want to be able to live their lives. Ross wants to hold their fiance's hand in public without being the recipient of dirty looks or hate speech. They want to go to a doctor and not fear that they won't be treated or taken seriously. I could go on. Third, being out and proud is about pushing an agenda. It is a hope that one day most people will look at them and not care about what gender they are, but rather what kind of person they are. Politicians trying to legislate trans people out of existence is not mere politics. It perpetuates the notion that trans people are other and not worthy of respect. It makes them targets of violence. It removes them from the broader society that you and I take for granted. Ross was over 18 when they came out to us, and despite getting gender-affirming care, has had many struggles over the years due to the toll that transphobia has taken on them. Our wish for Ross is the same as what most people want for their kids: to be independent, kind, well-adjusted, and of course happy adults who give back to society. We never thought we'd worry about their safety due to the fear of intolerance of others. Supporting trans people, especially vulnerable young people, is caring about the mental and physical safety of those in our community. I'd like to offer a prayer for safety composed by an anonymous 21-year-old in 2019. God, place my child in a safe environment where they do not need to fear for their safety when they are with their significant other. Help create a world where they can hold their hand, be affectionate, and love their partner without hatred causing harm to their physical and emotional well-being. Keep my child, my family, and their partner safe when their existence and love is tried by those who do not accept them in their lives. Baruch atah Adonai haparei sukkot shalom aleinu ve'el kol amo Yisrael ye'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
We continue with the words of Eshamra. Kanaroskin just got my famous eyesight problems of looking at the wrong line, so I apologize if I freaked you out, Kanaroskin. Because I introduced the Veishamru, and I should have introduced the Hashkivenu, which is the prayer that Chris, the Chatimah, the blessing that Chris read so beautifully at the end of her comments, is the blessing at the end of Hashkivenu. And it's a prayer that reminds us about how we ask for God's Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace for us and for those we love as night descends. And that Sukkot, and then the next prayer, Veishamru, is a recognition that the shelter of peace is actually guarded by our actions, by the things that we do, by the ways in which we, of course, celebrate Shabbat, but also in the ways in which we create a space for peace and a space for wholeness and a guarding of what values matter most to us as a community. And so the relationship between those prayers is of not only just asking God for peace, but then that reflection on us and asking us ourselves to recognize that we have a role to play in creating a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace. We have a role to play in protecting and valuing what matters most to us. We continue with the words of Veishamru.
למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רק להושיע. מוריד אתה, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים Berofe Holi, Umatir Rasuri, Umekayem Emunato, Lishene Afar, Nichamocha Ba'al Givurot, Umido Mela, Melech Meimid Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehayot hafo, Baruch ata Adonai, Mechaye hakol.
Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim yom yahadado chasecha.
Baruch ata
Adonai, ha'el
Kadosh.
Please be seated. I want to invite you to take a moment to sit back, to place your feet onto the ground if they reach, and just to take a moment to close your eyes and to take a deep breath. To hold that breath and then to exhale. And to continue breathing in a way that's comfortable for you. We have entered into the month of Elul. And Elul is the month that precedes Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur, and our High Holy Days. And our rabbis tell us that the month of Elul is actually an acronym for Ani Ledodi V'Dodi Li. I am my beloved is mine. And so on this Pride Shabbat, as we've heard stories about beloveds and stories of self-care, I want to invite you as you breathe and continue with the prayers of your heart to think of yourself as a beloved, worthy of love, and to think of those whom you love. We continue in silence.
with a prayer of peace, a prayer asking God to bring a little bit of shlemut, of wholeness from high down on earth. We take a moment to think of those who are in need of healing of body and mind and spirit. On our screens, we'll be sharing the names of individuals within the Temple Bethel community who could use that little bit of healing this Shabbat. If there's someone in your life that you are thinking of, I invite you to share their name as I look around the congregation. Jim McKenna, Robbie Blitz. It's my immense privilege to invite up Ginger Brock to offer a few words of Torah.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Let's see if I can get through this without menopause sweats. So I'm Ginger Brock. I've been a member of Temple Bethel for about 6 years now, but hanging out for about 9. And I've enjoyed working with the taught Shabbats and singing in the choir and teaching religious school. This week's Torah portion is called Shoftim, which is the book of Judges. And in this book, the laws are given to the Jewish people, laws for what should not be worshipped, so there's some witchcraft stuff you shouldn't do, and then laws for how the Jewish people should behave in peace and in war, laws for how kings were chosen. This week's Torah portion spoke to me in the space of justice, of what is right and fair for the multitude of humanity. How humans are flawed creatures, we mess up a lot, and we need a guide in living this human experience, a real sense of what's right and fair. Moses commanded the Jewish people to appoint judges to decide the law. These judges had to oversee the multitude of Jewish people that had been wandering the desert for 40 years. And can you imagine having been raised in slavery, so many generations of trauma, and then you have this enormous freedom. The fear that Jewish people held onto for generations, and now that fear is dissipated. All of the tension and the arguments and the infighting that must have existed, and certainly those midnight rendezvous behind darkened tents, I'm sure that happened. But the Jewish people were instructed to seek justice. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdorf. Justice, justice, you shall pursue. I am so proud of Temple Bethel and its ever pursuit of justice. Always pursuing what is right for not just the Jewish people in Charlotte, but really I find Temple Bethel a beacon for not only Reform Judaism, but Judaism in America. Really, our little temple stands out as definitely standing up for what's right. Our clergy have always been on the forefront of speaking for the quietest voice in the room, whether it's working to make sure that every citizen can vote, what a woman can do with their body, or who you choose to have as a partner in life. Temple Bethel has been a home for me. It's a home for you. And Temple Bethel has fought to make sure that my life matters. I'm so proud to be a member of this community and to call Temple Bethel home. I've seen so much change in the LGBTQI plus world since I came out 26 years ago. First of all, there were far few letters that you had to say. There was just LGBT, that's about it. 12 years ago, we did sort of like I like to call it the underground gay railroad, where we had a lesbian shotgun wedding. So we got pregnant, my wife and I, and we traveled to New York to get married, because you couldn't get married in North Carolina. 4 months pregnant, got married, and then we had our son, our first kid, in Washington, D.C., because that was the closest place you could have both same-sex partners on a birth certificate, which gave us all sorts of rights and protections once we moved back to North Carolina. I've seen in my 46 years, my 26 years of being out, really horrible things happen to gay people. Children being beaten and murdered for choosing to live their authentic lives. I've also seen families able to share their love and authentic selves at beautiful wedding ceremonies, at baby namings, and b'nai mitzvahs. 26 years ago, the life that I'm living right now was a fairy tale. It was a dream. It was a movie. But I am married to my wife of, 12 years, but we've been together for 26. And Temple Bethel has really supported me through those dreams. We have 2 beautiful kids. We didn't have to do the Underground Railroad with the second one because North Carolina got their act together in a way. I'm just really so proud of this little Temple Bethel, and I'm so proud of always choosing to pursue justice, and I look forward to pursuing justice with all of you for the next 26 years. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ginger. Thank you so much for sharing such beautiful Torah, Ginger. Ginger is also an incredible leader in our community, serving on our board, and also the co-chair of our cantorial search committee. We are so grateful for all of the ways that you contribute and lift up this community. We have 2 more anniversaries to celebrate. This is apparently the Shabbat of anniversaries, which is lovely. It's my honor to invite up Maggie Fogel and Harris Ader, as well as Merle and Alan Gottheim. And I'll invite the congregation to please rise as we open the Ark.
Maggie Ann Harris. I have the honor of blessing you on the occasion of your anniversary. And why this is a particularly special honor for me is that I have been friends with you, Maggie, for over 2 decades, as we both lived in Birmingham, Alabama. You worked at the conservative synagogue, and I was the cantor at the Reform Temple. And I got to know Harris since you became engaged and was blessed to officiate your wedding. A little background about this couple. Maggie and Harris met in Birmingham. Harris had just moved there and went to the JCC to see if there were actually other Jews in Birmingham, Alabama. And he found our friend, Raya, who offered a dinner invitation Friday night with their regular group of friends because she thought Harris would be good for Maggie's sister, Shira. Maggie wasn't even supposed to be present because she was set up on her first blind date. So Maggie got all gussied up, but last minute, her date canceled. This is God, right? This is God winking. She decided to join her friends at Surin, a great Thai restaurant in Birmingham if you ever get there. She walked in, and she and Harris saw each other, and that was it. They had an immediate connection, and within months, they knew it was Beshared, and at 9 months, he proposed. After the wedding, they went on honeymoon to Thailand because they met in a Thai restaurant. Now, while you can't see experiencing life without anyone else, you are different people. Harris, you lead with your head, and Maggie, you lead with your heart. But what you've done so well is to constantly remind yourselves that you complement one another. You are the yin to the other's yang. A marriage takes work, but it is holy work, and it is beautiful because you never take one another for granted. Now, usually people come forward for an anniversary blessing on the 10s or the 5s, 10 years, 25 years, but you chose 18. And as we all know, 18 is an important number in Judaism. It represents high, or life. And this is an especially important number for you, Maggie, as you are battling stage 4 cancer. It has been 6 years of fighting, but the two of you have prioritized the positive. You have so much blessing in your lives together. And so we say, Makor HaChaim, source of life, God who has been with our ancient ancestors through their wanderings and journeys, may God be with you too, Maggie and Harris, and bless you on your 18th wedding anniversary. An anniversary is a holy occasion. It marks the day when two separate individuals make a covenant before human beings and before God to become one. May God support you in this next phase of your life, in which we hope you have adventures and meaning and goodness and some struggle, and with God's help, triumph, but mostly fun. Maggie and Harris, with joy, with love, and with length of years in good health, bless you from God, beneath God's sheltering presence. And let us together say, Amen. Now hang out. We're going to come up with this.
Spoiler alert, I did not officiate your wedding. That would be Merle and Alan. In the Song of Songs, the narrator describes the moment of encountering her beloved. When I found the one I loved, I held him fast. I would not let him go. Merle and Alan, as you celebrate your 50th wedding anniversary, I keep imagining the moment when the two of you met at a JCC in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, when you were just kids. You were teenagers. You found the one that you loved. You held each other fast and would not let go. While you were still figuring out who you wanted to become, you saw something in the other that helped you realize that they would help you become the person you wanted to be. And indeed, over the past 50 years, that is what you have done. You have grown up together as individuals and as a couple, supporting one another to live out your full potential. As parents, as partners, as professionals, as community members, you each are who you are today because of the other. You are each other's best friend, confidant, companion. Like a magnet, when you are apart, you find yourselves gravitating back towards one another. Makor HaChaim, source of life. Bless Alan and Merle with health of body, mind, and spirit, and with many, many more reasons to celebrate each and every day. Just as you have been blessed to nurture one another's growth, may you also be blessed to witness your children and your grandchildren continue to grow into their full potential. May you, hand in hand, travel the world, embark on new adventures, and be the source of support and love for one another as you continue to learn, to grow, and to become. Alan and Merle, you have found the one that you love. May you always hold one another fast and never let go. And it's my honor to invite Maggie and Harris back as we offer both couples the words of the priestly benediction. May God bless you and keep you. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha vichoneka.
May the radiance of God shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Wherever life's journey may take you, may you always see the divine in one another's eyes. May you always feel the presence of God with you. And may God bless you with the greatest gift of all, that of shlemut, of peace. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Pleasure. Mazel tov. We remain standing for the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol L'Tetz Gedula L'Yotzer Breshit Shelo Asanu Kiryei Haratzot Velo Samanu K'mishpachot Ha'adama Shelo Sam Chelkeinu Kahem V'goraleinu kechol hamonam va'anachnu korim umishachamim umodzim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai Lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo echad. Please be seated. We turn our thoughts to those who have left this earth, but whose memory, whose impact on each of us lives on every day. On this Pride Shabbat, we hold in our hearts every individual who lost their lives because of their sexual orientation or gender expression, at the hands of fanatics in the Middle Ages, those who perished in the Holocaust, and those struck down in our own city in our own time. We also remember those who took their own lives, driven by despair by a world that hated them because of their love or gender. We offer the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, a prayer of exaltation of the glory of God, with the hope that someday we might bring an end to hate and oppression of every kind. As I say the name of your loved one, I invite you to please rise. In the period of Shloshim, observing 30 days since their passing, we remember Juana Benitez, Jeffrey Cooper, Terry Bradley, Ellen Lipson, Paula Musler, and Albert Soferenko. Marking a yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing, we remember Peggy Nathan Abrams, Harry Allweiss, Harriet Atlas, Martin Beal, Alice Berkelhammer, William Bernard, Helmut Brandt, Sophie Cohen, Ruth Cooper, Elsie Korn, Anna de Ippolito, Herbie Dworkin, Natan Feldman, Barry Fernbach, Edward Festinger, George Foster, Miriam Weingarten Friedman, William Gitlin, Richard Stanley Glasser, Leslie Gordon, Donald Gottheim, Edith Green, Harry Greenberg, Rosalind Greschler, Jose Guillermo Guadarrama, Clara Hickman, Lily R. Henriksen, Edward Holzberg, Isaac Jacobowitz, Henry T. Jacobson, Edwin L. Kahn, Louis Kirshner, Maurice Krauss, Marianne Silverman Lamb, Herman Levine, Philip Levine, Jean Levy, Harriet Mandel, Max Mandel, Alan Mason, Zane Messenger, Elizabeth Lib Miles, Helen Multer, Ralph Newfield, Dorothy Nathan Palevsky, David Paskoff, David Peichert, Louis I. Pesikoff, Goldie R. Phillips, Susan E. Popper, Max Putterman, John Kennerly Rowe, Sigrid Stewart Schottvet, Sally Schindler, Alan Schneiderman, Larry M. Schwartz, Paul A. Schwartz, Joe Shallant, Gerald Cinco, Adele Solo, Ida Solo, Youssef Sued, Marucha L. Sued, Goldie Steinberg, Jeanette Strauss, Edith Suckman, J. Sandra Thacker, and Scott Turner. Invite the congregation to please rise as we offer the words of Mourner's Kaddish, providing comfort to all who are bereaved. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei z'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivarach Le'olam Almei Almaya. Yitz Barach V'yitz Shabach V'yitz Pa'ar V'yitz Romam V'yitz Naseh V'yitz Adar V'yitz Alev V'yitz Alal Shmei D'Kudsha Brichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechemata Ta'amiran V'Alma V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Osei Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Please be seated. A few announcements before we conclude our services. High Holy Days 5784 is quickly approaching. Did you know that, Rabbi Knight? You did not know. You're welcome. You can find all of the information you will need to register for services, dedicate a machzor to a loved one, order chopped liver, and more on our website at templebethel.org/High Holy Days. This Sunday, August 20th, we'll continue our Pride celebration. At 1 p.m., we'll be marching alongside our Shalom Park partners in the Charlotte Pride Parade in Uptown. You can find more information about registration on the Charlotte JCC's website. Next Friday, August 25th, join us for Shabbat worship led by the Charlotte Black Jewish Alliance participants as we celebrate solidarity across our communities and recommit to the work still to be done. Save the date to celebrate Slichot, to observe Slichot, on Saturday, September 9th at 8 p.m. This special community service, collaboratively led by the clergy of Temple Beth El and Temple Israel, promises a deeply moving experiences as we prepare for the high holidays. Some general reminders. Temple's annual Wild Acres Retreat is taking place September 1st through 3rd. Registration has closed, but we still have a few spots available, so please reach out to Natalie Freelander if you are interested. If you have any questions about making your My Temple commitment or religious school enrollment for the 23-24 year, please don't hesitate to contact our office. Shabbat Shalom.